Good day, Hudson Valley. I'm your host, Lisa Caslin, and welcome to our show. We have a really interesting subject to cover today. We're talking about robotics and the future of that technology. Our guest today is Jen Saldicco. She is a STEM advocate, and she works with our local Carmel High School and the FIRST organization as a robotics coach. So welcome, Jen.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You're welcome. So talk a little bit about, I guess, first, tell us about the FIRST organization. What do they do?
So the FIRST organization was founded by Dean Kamen, who is the inventor of the Segway. He started the organization to help students really see the experiential learning of science, technology, engineering, and math, and apply it to a task, but make it fun and exciting. So they call it, a true sport of the mind, making it where it's competitive like a sports game and it's fun, and really expanding on that. And, the students they can get engaged anywhere from 6 years old. So they have a couple different levels. They have FL Junior, which is 6 to about 8-year-olds. Then they have FL, which is middle school age, and then there's FTC, which is high school, and then there's FRC, which is the ultimate robotics, where the students have 6 weeks to build a robot, design, program, build, and prepare for a competition that is a task. So this year it was Stronghold, where it was a castle. The robots had to shoot balls into a huge castle, go over obstacles, and work with various other teams internationally as well as statewide.
Yeah, so this is really cool. So I guess we should say we're very proud of the fact that we have Carmel High School involved in this program, and they have a robotics club, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to just tap you for a minute to talk about your background and how you kind of, I guess, worked with your husband, who's a teacher at Carmel, right? He's he's involved in the technology area, and your sort of transition from working on the financial services side to now getting involved with STEM, and I guess really being a mentor to young women who want to explore that area.
So, after 13 years at JP Morgan in finance, I worked in asset management. So they a lot of it, the clients that I met were very involved in educational reform, educational development, and STEM. And so I was kind of doing that in the background, and I was also helping my husband with promoting the students and kind of guiding and supporting and getting more girls into the program. So it was kind of like a volunteer, and I really started getting engaged, and then reached out to a professor, Pauline Mosley, who wrote a grant for the robotics team for Carmel High School, and seeing what she thought could be done as far as girls in STEM and education, and and just get a read from her. And she was working on a grant, so I started working on that, and I decided that I wanted to leave JP Morgan, go back to school at Pace, and get a degree in public administration to really advocate STEM and really help students, I think, find a voice and people. I mean, I'm kind of reinventing myself, and it's fun because it's, the self-direction, mastery, and purpose. And I think the students are seeing that, and I think the robotics definitely helps them because it takes them out of the book learning, and it gets them to really have fun and explore their learning.
Yeah.
So it's been great, and we've definitely, I've gotten feedback from girls over the years too as well, to see what their challenges were in engineering specifically, because it's a very hard program. But my husband said that I should work on world peace. But it's definitely a challenge, but it's been fun, and I think just it's been fun exploring the students and how they learn, and education, and where it should, where it's going to go, and all these new technologies, and preparing our future, employees and students. And
I think that what I love about what you're doing is, I mean, number one, it's local, so we always like that. But there's been a lot of rhetoric over the past several years that talks about the importance of STEM education, and talks about young women leaning in and, getting involved in this, but there never seems to be any practical implementation, or an execution plan. And I almost feel like your odyssey now, moving from your former career now, and sort of this self-realization and the interest in the technology has sort of found a viable home, and hopefully you will be an inspiration to many other school districts between Dutchess and Putnam and Westchester, to inspire them to really put a stake in the ground and help not just women but young men too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just kind of getting the state of the state, what they have, how you can add impact to what they have, and then the additional resources that the community can maybe perhaps engage into an organization where you can facilitate some of those programs that each school district, some have more resources than others, right? So I think it's just finding the right program and the right things that work for each school and each community. Every school is unique to their students, to their teachers, to their administration, to their board, to their parents. So I think it's exciting for me to see, and I want it to impact the right way and really make more impact than just one school or one group of students. And I think the first robotics does do that. It pushes and that application and the experiential learning, and just from everything from PR to media to finance to pitching yourself to getting sponsors. And these are sponsorships that we need $20,000 to run the first robotics team. So it's not a little bit of money. It's it's
significant.
Yeah,
they'll be ready to go on Shark Tank. Exactly.
Yes.
I love you mentioned a phrase earlier before we started the show, a sport of the mind, and I that really resonated with me. I love that kind of thinking in terms of some kids are sports fanatics. Other kids excel at, and they socialize through more intellectual play, if you will. And I love that you're kind of shepherding them through all of this. If a school was sort of turned on to this idea about really implementing a program like this, how would they go about it? Would you be somebody that could help them kind of cross that area?
Absolutely. Into that area? I would be able to consult them and connect with the resources and the knowledge kind of that I've been already kind of gone through, and have connections with other networks that can help them bring these programs to their school. Or it doesn't have to be in the school, it can be outside of the school, it can be homeschool association, or at a church, or through a youth bureau, or whatever. So absolutely, I would love to help promote STEM, or STEAM as they say, which is including the arts, which I think is important.
It is. So absolutely. You had mentioned makers spaces. What are those? So
maker spaces is basically just an area, a space where you can start it with very simple things like popsicle sticks, paper, but just it's an environment for a student or even an adult to explore their learning in their own way. So there's the self-direction piece, but doing it where they're not knowing that they're learning. They're having fun and they're examining it. And Makerspace is been around for a long time, and it's come from California. So the Make movement, there's a World Maker Fair at New York Hall of Science in Queens every year. And it's just really getting back to the whole Renaissance age where people are making things and inventing things, and that's how these major advancements in science, technology comes into play. Robotics is just one of the things. There's the 3D printers and fabrication, and all of that. So the makerspace is really just a space, collaborative space where you have a person that can help, guide, in exploring. So like New York Hall of Science has one area where they have, it's called Happy Cities. So they have popsicle sticks, paper, markers, LED, tinfoil. and they, a child, and anywhere from 4 to even adults go in the space, and they say make a city happy, and you can explore and do whatever you want. No boundaries, and it's stuff that they're used to working with. Yeah. And then they build on this happy city. They make with the LEDs light up with like the tinfoil as connectors, and it's amazing what they come out with. And it's just, I think, really keeping that type of learning and that fun of learning throughout up until high school, and then beyond. And I think that's the part that's very hard. And with metrics and standards, it gets, it's mind-boggling on the administrators, it's mind-boggling on the teachers and the students and the parents. And it's like, well, how do you metric that type of experiential learning, or and it's very hard to. But I think the impact, is there, and we asked the students after the competition, how is it more than robots? Like, what was the true impact? And it was amazing what they said, just anywhere from, I thought, a gracious professional was just one of their things, where it's basically teaching tolerance and working with other teams for a common goal, even if we're on opposite sides, that it wasn't a joke, and that, it was just, I think, mind-blowing to them that, just the expansion of like the impact. They want purpose. They want to, everybody wants purpose.
Absolutely. Right? And they want to compete too.
And so the sport of the mind is something really big, and I think so FIRST has a lot of resources where a lot of schools are starting to work towards pushing it as a sport tied to the school. There are some schools that are doing it. It takes time, but I think it is important, because the students that are, that aren't, into lacrosse or football, they want an outlet, an experience to, and the scholarships are unbelievable, internships, and
it's a great opportunity. Didn't the Carmel High School Robotics Club win an award?
Yeah, they won the Rookie Inspiration Award.
Oh, that's great.
So basically, it was an award showing their community outreach and their work with engineers, and just understanding the purpose of some of these. It's pushing them to solve water issues and community outreach. So it's really pushing the students to see more than school, more than books, more than robots.
Yeah, right? That's awesome. So before we wrap up, what do you think the future of robotics is going to be?
The future already, the robotics, some of them are just, they have robots that are companions for the elderly, and, being able to kind of read their emotions, and, I think, and robots on, Mars, or, other places where humans can't go right now, and the intellect, and, I don't know. There's a lot of things out there, but I think what I've realized is that not everybody knows. You don't know what you don't know. Right. So I think, putting it out there and saying these things, this exposure and these opportunities are out there, and it's not, like shooting for the stars. It's definitely attainable. So.
But you're doing great stuff.
Thank you.
So if anybody wanted to get in touch with you, what would be the best way to reach you?
So best way to reach me would be mrsmrs.saldicco, SALDICCO @gmail.com, or they can call me, which is phone number is 914-879-3604.
Great, terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
We want to have you back again.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, thanks again for joining, and we hope to see you again soon. If you have comments or questions, you know where to reach us, info@gooddayhudsonvalley.com. Thanks again.